Broward County Democrats prepare to nominate their presidential candidate, even though their choice may not count. Up next on Comcast Newsmakers.
Bringing you the news and information you need from the people making a difference. This is Comcast Newsmakers.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our show. The fight between Florida Democrats and national party leaders has left some local party members wondering if their primary picks will count. Here to discuss what is turning into a very controversial primary is this hour's newsmaker, Mitch Ceasar. He's chairman for the Broward County Democratic Party. And thanks very much for joining us. Not only are you chairman of the Broward County Democratic Party, but you're on a national committee as well.
Well, I sit on the Democratic National Committee, and I represent the 14 southern states on the executive board of the DNC.
So you know what's going on up there and the mentality of people going on. Will Florida's Democratic candidates or delegates count?
Well, you know, sometimes I feel like Leslie Gore, and I just want to say it's my party, and I'll cry if I want to. But I think Florida Democrats are going to be fine. The situation has gotten very confused. We are going to have a vote on January 29th where Democrats in Florida will indicate their preference for president. People will still talk about it. It will still get national press and some sort of bump, I would presume, for the candidate that does well. The only thing that's different is that normally we would choose delegates directly related to that vote on the 29th. Delegates will be chosen, but they will not be recognized officially until the Democratic nominee is chosen. They will not be in the count until the nominee is chosen, and then they will make the Florida delegation, as they're making the state of Michigan delegation, whole as well, with everybody attending the convention.
Florida, always a battleground state.
Yes.
Every 4 years, it's like this. Are the candidates missing something, not being here?
Well, I think they are, but another misnomer is the fact that people think it's the Democratic National Committee that said to the candidates, you cannot come into Florida and campaign. They are not the ones who said that. That was put together by the 4 early states who band together and basically gave an ultimatum to the candidates saying, don't campaign in Florida because we're the early states, that's how we were promised, and we're not going to like it if you do that.
Really?
So it wasn't the Democratic Party that did this, the Democratic National Committee. It was the 4 early states. So I do think that it will end up to be just a family squabble. I do not think it'll be more than a blip on the political radar screen come November.
You don't think voters are going to be disenfranchised because of this decision?
I really don't, because I think what people are really motivated are about issues. Things like ending the war, where the economy is, what kind of jobs, what kind of environment do we have educationally for our children. And I think across Broward County and across Florida, people are not only concerned but very unhappy with the state we're in. And I think people are going to be motivated to vote. I think they're going to be motivated to vote for change for a Democrat, and therefore some family squabble, which Democrats are famous for, won't really impact them.
Well, you should know this because you're on the National Committee, but the National Committee telling Florida voters their choices won't count, or their choice will not count. What does that do to the voting public and the way they're going to take a look at this primary election?
Well, we have to make sure people understand the message, and their vote is going to count. It's not like in 2000.
But they're saying something different, right?
Well, there's some confusion.
Right.
I mean, in 2000, people's votes literally were not counted, and to our detriment, as we've seen by the last 8 years of this Bush presidency. This is a situation where you're going to go to the polls January 29th, your vote will be counted, will be talked about, and it will relate to the selection of delegates just a little bit later in the process, with everybody from Florida and Michigan, who have the same penalty, going to the convention. So at the end of the day, it will not play any disproportionate role.
Very quickly, what about the future? Are we going to run into the same problem 4 years from now?
I am convinced that the system we see for presidential primaries for both Republicans and Democrats will never exist again beyond this cycle of 2008.
Why is that?
I think we will have regional primaries. There's a bill in Congress on that matter right now. I do think both national parties will form a commission and perhaps put forth multiple ideas, but perhaps settling on regional primaries rotating to make it fair for everyone in the country.
Interesting. This hour's newsmaker, Mitch Ceasar, discussing a potentially volatile Democratic presidential primary for local Democrats. I'm Spiro Canton. Thank you for joining us.
The preceding has been a presentation of Comcast Newsmakers. And now, back to CNN Headline News.